Let's take a look. You could almost do that for the quarterback today. Over to our...
You do that one more time?
Setting records. I understand it's hard to celebrate with 9 losses in a row, but some beautiful dimes from Caleb today. The one to Keenan was sweet, and there you see it. 26 of 40, 334 yards through the air, 34 on the ground, 2 more touchdowns, no interceptions. That's 9 games in a row without interception. Hasn't thrown one since the Bears won a game in London. That's kind of hard to believe, too.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It makes 0 sense. Which I was going to make as on our pregame show. I was going to make it what matters most, throw a pick. How about that? Let's just change let's change the momentum here.
Do you know how where that ranks him?
Way up there.
326 passes in a row without throwing an interception. 7th most in the history of the NFL.
Pretty good.
That's
stat.
that
Number
is wild.
1, Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, Tom Brady. Number 3, Jared Goff. Number 4, Tom Brady had a second stretch.
Patrick Mahomes.
Justin Herbert, Derek Carr.
My guy.
You got it. Derek
See?
Carr. Then Caleb Williams. That is crazy. And it's one of the weirder parts about this losing streak. And it came up in the game because the Bears turned the ball over twice. Roma Dunze had 2 fumbles, although it gave Caleb one of them. Whatever.
Yeah.
They hadn't been turning the ball over that much. They really haven't all season. It has not been a problem.
If you want to go into scary land, like, they've had some injuries, but wow. Caleb's played every game this year. Hasn't thrown any picks. Rome's missed some time, but basically been out there. Same thing with DJ. Same thing with Keenan. You know, they've all been playing.
I don't want to overdo it because, look, we're most likely gonna end this season in a similar spot that we ended with Justin Fields and with Mitch Trubisky, with just enough hope in a season that we would all agree has not been fantastic, but just enough hope to feel like, oh, the coach they're about to hire can fix this. It's the same thing, right? They hired Matt Nagy year 2 for Mitch. They hired Matt Eberflus year 2 for Justin Fields. I do think that even a casual football fan can understand the difference here, that it is there. I'm not saying he's going to the Hall of Fame or that this is 100% working out. We don't know that yet. But even Carm, would you agree that Caleb Williams' rookie season gives you more hope than Mitch Trubisky's and Justin Fields?
I don't know about this even Carm thing. I haven't been negative on Caleb at all. But if you want to go even Carm to me,
Sorry.
Yes. Come on. Look, he's at 2,937 yards now. He's at 17 touchdowns. He's at 5 interceptions. He's got a completion percentage of 62. He's had 4 games over 300. Overall, there has been some dips, but once he sort of just got off the ground and started to figure it out. But his third game, albeit throwing it 52 times, he threw for 363, but they've gone way down from there. Caleb has certainly let everybody know that if you had your ducks in a row, if you will, coaching staff, imagine him with an offensive line. Guy's leading the NFL in sacks with 60. I mean, what does that look like? I would think it looks pretty, it's going to look a whole lot better. Imagine him with a defense. So, sure, optimism for the quarterback, I think, is a very realistic, fair take.
Yeah, I think I feel really great about the quarterback position. And you guys know how I felt, right, about potentially keeping Justin Fields. And I think Caleb has definitely, gone through ups and downs. But as far as his passing ability is unreal. When he's on, he's on. Obviously, start of game sometimes struggles with a little bit of accuracy. But in today's game, and like some of the others, in that second half, he usually performs very well, gets his accuracy in order, and obviously the offensive line is a big thing. But you look at him and Jaden Daniels, right? Everyone's crowning Jaden Daniels potentially as the offensive rookie of the year. Their stats are pretty similar, and Jaden Daniels, in my opinion, is on a way better team, offensive line-wise, defensive, head coach, the whole situation he's in. So I think you have to feel great about the quarterback position because even without an offensive line at times running for his life, he's still making plays and being efficient and throwing for over 300 yards multiple times, something that Justin Fields didn't do many times. Mitch Trubisky, you had a couple games here or there, but I think you have to feel great about the quarterback going this offseason. And if I'm the Bears, the big thing, if they do not address the trenches, I'm going to Hallis Hall myself. And I'm doing some swim moves, some dip and rips, some bull rushes into there and finding out some answers because you got to surround them with the talent. And the only way they're going to take the next step is building on the trenches, something I've been preaching from the rooftops for 3 years, and they haven't addressed it. So if Ryan Poles is here, right, if you do not address the trenches, I might have to talk man-to-man to you. No disrespect at all, but we need to get these Bears in order. And I think the franchise deserves better, especially from that offensive line position. You got to surround your talent and your future quarterback, your franchise quarterback, with the right personnel.
Yeah. Hey, look, though, I mean, meanwhile, you want the completion. Here's Caleb Williams' updated numbers on the season. I mean, these aren't nothing for a Bears quarterback. He's up to over 3,200 passing yards after today. He's at 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. It's a ratio you can definitely live with. Completions percentage, you probably want a little bit higher. It's a 62.2. No question about it. And let's see, we can. Well, okay, I thought I had that in front of me. No, I don't. Then the sacks got to come down. He's up to 60 sacks now. Yeah. That's kind of crazy too. So, but I think it shows you there's enough to work with here, right? That if you can get the coach right, this thing can work. Now, I'm going to warn people. We're going to hear a lot about Jaden Daniels again. Weird how we haven't heard about him a whole lot the last month. But Jaden Daniels and the Commanders just beat the Eagles. A good day for the Lions. We'll talk about the implications of that. Jaden Daniels, 258 today, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And the Commanders scored 22 points in the fourth quarter to come back and beat the Eagles.
All passing touchdowns or some rush?
Those were all passing touchdowns, yes. He also added 81 yards on the ground on 9 rushing attempts. That's a big result, though, for the Lions, who, after last week's game had pulled into a tie with the Eagles. They still have the tiebreaker, but the Lions, I feel like, really need that 1 seed to have the home games and not have to go play outside, although it didn't really seem like it affected them too much today. All that talk. The Vikings technically, though, still control their own destiny, and if they went out, they would have the 1 seed.
Okay. Look, and I'm seeing in the chat like a lot of people are, Jaden's better than Caleb. Look, you can debate that all you want. The bottom line is the Bears quarterback is good enough if they get things right here
to be the franchise quarterback that's here for.
Yeah, I feel like people think like there's only one allowed. Like they're like their own individual. Yeah, like they're every year the quarterback classes is in their own little battle, and only one can be the good one.
Yeah, and for the record, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that I've been saying for weeks here. I think that you need to get a coach in here who will coach him hard, who's not afraid of him, who's not going to, the way the Bears went about it this year is, I asked the question not to underline my amazingness, but I said to Flus in June, like, hey, so is Caleb the starter there, Matthew? Yep. Or was there a competition? Yep, he's the starter. I was like, okay. Well, did you?
That was just so you would get confirmation you lost a bet.
Yeah, well, it was, but it was also like, it was a little bit odd though at the time. And fine, you won the bet, Hoge, but like, And that's like a 1/10 of 1% about the whole thing here. You did see him come off the field today. He was super upset when Thomas Brown chose to kick a field goal, and that's fine that he's upset. But there's got to be in my mind, a rock solid head coach who can deal with an emotional, at times, young quarterback and get the very best out of him, and also figure out what's going on as far as throwing the ball deep down the field too. That's something that's got to be unearthed, if you will. So look, he ain't perfect. He's a rookie quarterback. I think if you have your eyes open, you see the talent. This is not. I don't think it's some hot take to say that this guy's good enough to be a high functioning quarterback in the NFL, which is something the Bears have not had.
Well, I think there's a reason why after he plays some of these really great teams, right? The Vikings, he played this week the Lions. Those coordinate, right? Kevin O'Connell, Ben Johnson have been singing praise about Caleb Williams. So I don't think that's by accident. I don't think people say stuff just to say it. I think people really recognize his talent in there. And I think, is it perfect? No. There's a lot of things he needs to clean up. But when he's on, I mean, he throws a pretty dang good ball. It's threading the needle sometimes. The Keenan Allen or DJ Moore or Cole Kmet is a thing of beauty. And I think, obviously, it's tough because I talked about this with Amagachi beforehand and Caleb Williams, managing a rookie's confidence. And I think it's been so up and down for him. But the one good thing I love about him is he's a competitor, right? Even when things haven't been good, he's still competing on there. He still wants to make plays. And I think he's going to be a special quarterback one day. I think it's all about how critical this offseason goes for them finding their leader of the future and then building those trenches, because those are going to be the two things that are going to take the Bears where they need to. A coach that's going to come in and not allow this crap that's going on with the Bears, right? Lack of fundamentals, attention to detail, discipline stuff. It's week in and week out, right? We're towards the end of the season. Literally, Jonathan Owens, your eyes are in the backfield. Who is the guy you're covering? You're covering Jamison Williams. Why are your eyes in the backfield? Yeah. So it's little things like that have been creeping up all season in the run game, right? Guys are getting driven off the ball, not in their gaps. It's something that creeps up every week, it seems like. So hopefully in the offseason they'll address this.
We all silly like the mayor.